You are thinking about filing bankruptcy in Arizona. That's why you're here, right? And you probably want to know, is my stuff protected if I file bankruptcy in Arizona? And you're probably hearing stuff from people. You're going to lose your car. They're going to take this. They're going to take that. I get it. There's a lot of bad info out there. And a lot of people put off filing bankruptcy or don't look into it or just skip it altogether when they actually need to do it because they think these things. So, what we've done at usbankruptcyhelp.com is we've created this really cool tool called the Bankruptcy Exemption Risk Estimator. What you can do with this tool is actually go to it, enter your house, your car, and its fair market value, and see whether or not there's an exemption. At the end, there's going to be a result. There's going to be a PDF if you want it. And you can save it for your records, and it's going to be a printout of your stuff, the value you put, and what exemption applies to it. So you can print that out, you can save it as a PDF, you can take it to a bankruptcy consultation. If you use this, you're going to take some of the guesswork out and you're going to get rid of some of that fear that's stopping you from doing something that might be amazing for you and your family. You're going to be in the know. I'm going to put a link to this page at the bottom so you can go right to it. I also want to go through it with you and show you kind of how it works. So let's get into it. All right, get yourselves a nice cup of coffee or hot cocoa and curl up because we're going to get into this. It's going to be fun. This is the Bankruptcy Exemption Risk Estimator tool that we created. And I like to expand the screen when I use it. But you're just going to go through this and answer questions about your assets and their fair market value. At the end, you're going to get results. So let's just go through this. Let's say that there's a person named Bob. Bob's an individual. These are all important questions, by the way. Bob has lived in Arizona for at least 2 years, which means that Bob can use Arizona bankruptcy exemptions. If Bob didn't live in Arizona for 2 years, Bob probably will have to use another bankruptcy exemption scheme. Maybe the state where he came from, maybe federal exemptions. It just depends on Bob's situation. But for now, we're going to say Bob has lived in Arizona for 730 days or 2 years. Then we just hit next. Does Bob have real estate? Let's say Bob has a condo. Bob's condo is worth $500,000. Say Bob has a mortgage of $300,000. He owns it 100%. He's not joint tenants with anybody. And that is his property. Bob lives there. It's not an investment property. It's his house. That's where he lives. Next, vehicles. Let's answer some questions about vehicles. Most people in Arizona have a vehicle. What do you have? Let's say that Bob has a car. Let's say that, it's got a fair market value of $20,000. We're just going to use simple math here. Let's say it's got a loan balance of $10,000. So its total equity is $10,000. No other cars. We're not going to list any other cars. But if you did want to add another vehicle, let's say Bob had 2 vehicles, he could add another vehicle. Recreation vehicle. So this would be like, does Bob have an ATV? Does he have a motorcycle or a boat? Let's just say no, Bob doesn't have a boat or any recreational vehicle. Now we ask about household goods. So this is TVs, computers, household goods and furnishings. When you actually meet with a bankruptcy attorney, you're probably going to get into this in more detail. But for now, we're just getting an idea of what your household goods and furnishings are actually worth. So most people have a TV these days. Fair market value is not retail. It's not when you go to a car dealership and you paid crazy amount for it. It's not when you go to Walmart and pay whatever for, a box of Legos. It's what's kind of the Craigslist value. What's somebody on the street willing to give you for something? What would that be fairly? And when it comes to household goods and furnishings, it just depends on what you have. I mean, most people couldn't get a lot for their household goods and furnishings, and you just kind of got to look item by item of what it's worth. So let's just say Bob has household goods and furnishings of $2,000. Clothing. Now, everybody has clothes, I think. I see everybody walking around with clothes on. What's interesting about this is I've seen bankruptcy petitions where people don't put this on. They don't put that on the petition, but everyone has clothing and stuff that they wear. And I think that's a red flag for bankruptcy trustees that you're not being diligent on your petition because you didn't put anything for clothes. So always put something for clothing. I mean, if you don't have clothes, don't put anything. We don't want you to perjure yourself, but let's just say Bob's clothes. Let's say Bob can get $200 for his clothes on Craigslist. Who wants to buy Bob's dirty underwear? I don't know, whatever. Jewelry. A lot of people have jewelry. Like, do you have a watch? Do you have like a Timex? I mean, a lot of people have wedding rings. In this case, Bob probably doesn't have a wedding ring because he's single. Let's say that watch is worth $50. It's like a Timex Iron Man or something like that. Does he have anything else? Let's say no. Let's just keep it easy. Does Bob have firearms? Let's just say Bob has like a 9mm or something like that. A fair market value of 500. Cash, bank accounts, tax refunds. Does Bob have a bank account? Yes, he's got $500 in there. Does Bob have any other bank accounts? Probably has a savings. I mean, you always get savings accounts attached to checking accounts when you sign up. Let's just say he's got $100 in there. Business tools. So like if you had, let's say that you worked in construction and, you used drills and you used just basic hand tools. This is where you'd put that sort of thing. Or let's just say you had a business and you had like inventory. This is where this would be listed. Let's just say that Bob doesn't have any of this now to make it easy. Claims, lawsuit, expected payments. Now, this is very important. So, can you sue anyone and get money for anything? Do you have a personal injury claim? Are you going to inherit anything in the near future? Is the person close to dying? It's not just, are you in the will and the person's fine? There's no expectation of them passing away. This is very important. Usually, if you have anything here, it depends, but most of the time, there is no protection for that. You have to list everything. When you file bankruptcy, you don't have a choice. You have to list everything. All right, retirement accounts. So a lot of people have 401ks. Let's just put Bob has a 401k of $10,000. Anything that's not listed. I mean, if there's anything at all that we haven't gone over, you can put that here. We're going to say no for now. Now we're going to get results. So it goes through all Bob's items. Real estate. According to Arizona, right now in Maricopa County, we had a $437,000 exemption for real estate. So that's fine. Cars, he's good there. He's got $10,000 of equity. We cover that. 2,000 household goods, clothing, 200. That's fine. Jewelry, firearms. So Bob is pretty good here. It doesn't seem like there's anything that's not exempt. Now, that's not saying that he's fine to file bankruptcy. This is an educational estimate. This does not replace an attorney. This just takes some of the guesswork and fear out of whether or not your stuff is going to be protected when you file bankruptcy. This quashes that rumor the guy down at the office is telling you that you're going to file bankruptcy and lose everything.